Let's explore in detail the techniques of identifying the core message when condensing and summarizing information. How to identify the core message? The core message is the essence of what you are trying to convey. It's the central idea or primary objective of the entire piece of information, whether it's a document, a speech, or any form of communication. In business or educational settings, this could be the main conclusion, recommendation, or key finding. Let's go through the steps to identify the core message. Listen thoroughly. To identify the core message, you first need to fully understand the content. This means carefully listening to the entire piece of information. Pay attention to the introduction and conclusion, as they often contain hints about the main message. Look for repetition and emphasis. Authors or speakers often repeat or emphasize the points they consider most important. Notice what is being reiterated or stressed, as these are likely to be central to the core message. Determine the purpose. Ask yourself, what is the purpose of this communication? Is it to inform, persuade, argue, or instruct? Understanding the purpose can guide you in pinpointing what the core message is likely to be. Extract key themes. Identify the key themes or topics discussed. The core message is usually tied to the primary theme. Look for the big picture rather than getting lost in details. Consider the audience's needs. Reflect on what the intended audience needs to know. This perspective can often clarify what the core message should focus on. Think about the so what of the information. Why should the audience care? Summarize in one sentence. Try to summarize the main point in one sentence. This forces you to distill the content down to its most essential component. This sentence should capture the gist of the material without leaving out its central idea. Verify your understanding. After identifying what you believe to be the core message, check back to ensure that it aligns with the overall content and purpose of the original material. Sometimes, discussing with others or getting a second opinion can help validate your interpretation. Practical applications. In business. For instance, in a business report, the core message might be the key finding or recommendation that will guide future actions. In education. In an academic lecture, the core message could be the primary concept or theory being taught. In media. When summarizing a news article, the core message would be the main event or issue being reported. Benefits of identifying the core message. Clarity. It brings clarity to your summary, ensuring that the most crucial information is conveyed. Relevance. Keeps the summary focused and relevant to the audience's needs. Efficiency. Helps in filtering out less important details, making the summary more concise and digestible. In conclusion, identifying the core message is a critical first step in condensing and summarizing information. It ensures that your summary remains focused, relevant, and useful to your audience. To the audience, capturing the essence of the original content without unnecessary details. The pyramid principle is a communication technique. It is a structured approach to presenting information in a way that clearly conveys your main message while also providing the necessary supporting details in an organized manner. Here is how you can effectively use the pyramid principle for condensing and summarizing information. Understanding the pyramid principle. Start with the conclusion, the top of the pyramid. Begin your summary or presentation with the conclusion or main idea. This is the tip of the pyramid, and it should clearly state the core message or the most important piece of information. The rationale behind starting with the conclusion is that it immediately gives your audience the context and relevance of what follows. Group supporting arguments. It comes in the middle of the pyramid. Below the main idea, organize the supporting information into distinct groups or categories. Each of these groups should logically support or explain the main conclusion. Group similar facts or arguments together to create a structured and logical flow of information. Provide details and evidence. This forms the base of the pyramid. The base of the pyramid consists of the details, data, examples, or evidence that support your grouped arguments. This part provides depth and substantiation to your summary, offering the audience a complete understanding of each supporting point. Applying the pyramid principle. Condensing information. Identifying the core message and list it at the top of your structure. Determine the key supporting ideas that bolster your main point and organize them in a logical manner. Include only the most relevant and significant details that substantiate your supporting ideas. Creating a summary. State the main conclusion first in your summary. Follow with a brief overview of the supporting groups of ideas, providing just enough information to validate the conclusion. Offer a few critical examples or pieces of evidence, but avoid delving too deeply into the details. Practical tips. Logical flow. Ensure that each supporting point or group logically flows from the one before it, creating a coherent and easy to flow argument. Simplicity and brevity. The pyramid principle aids in keeping your communication concise and focused. Avoid overloading with too much details. Flexibility. While the structure is hierarchical, it should not be rigid. Adapt the level of detail and the number of supporting points to suit the complexity of the topic and the needs of your audience. Benefits. Primarily, it's clarity. This method provides a clear and logical structure to your summary, making it easier for the audience to follow and understand. Engagement. Starting with the conclusion piques interest and provides context, making the subsequent information more meaningful and engaging. Efficiency. Helps in organizing thoughts and information efficiently, making the summarizing process more streamlined and effective. In summary, the pyramid principle is a powerful tool for structuring information in a way that is logical, clear, and concise. It allows you to present your main ideas upfront and then logically build upon them with supporting details, making it an excellent technique for condensing and summarizing information. Employing bullet points and lists is a highly effective technique for condensing and summarizing information, particularly when dealing with complex materials. This method breaks down information into more digestible pieces, making it easier for the audience to quickly grasp the key points. Here is a detailed elaboration on how to effectively use bullet points and lists. Understanding bullet points and lists. Clarity and brevity. Bullet points and lists transform lengthy complex paragraphs into clear, concise items. This format forces you to express ideas succinctly, focusing only on the key elements. Easy scanning. Lists allow readers to scan the information quickly, making them ideal for summarizing key points. They provide a visual break in the text, which can be a relief for the reader in dense documents. Organization. Lists helps in organizing information in a logical order, whether it's sequential, hierarchical, or of equal importance. Now let's have a look at the techniques for using bullet points and lists. Identify key information. Start by determining the most important points that need to be communicated. Extract these points from the larger text, focusing on those that are crucial for understanding the overall message. Categorize and group. You have to group the related points together. This helps in creating a coherent structure within your list. Use sublists if necessary to further break down complex categories. Consistency in format. Be consistent with the format of your bullet points or lists. For example, if you start with a verb in one point, do the same for all. Consistency aids in readability and comprehension. Prioritize content. Arrange the points in an order that makes sense for your summary. It could be in order of importance, chronology, or any logical sequence that supports the core message. Keep it concise. Each bullet point should be brief and to the point. Avoid long sentences or complex phrases. The goal is to convey the essence of the information in as few words as possible. When to use bullet points versus numbered list. Bullet points. Use when the order of the items is not crucial. It is ideal for listing items of equal importance or for general categorization. Numbered lists. Use when the sequence, procedure, or ranking is important. Helpful for steps, instructions, or items that need to be referred to by number. Benefits. Now let's have a look at the benefits. Enhanced readability. Lists and bullet points make the text more readable and engaging. Efficient communication. They allow you to convey key information efficiently without necessary details. Visual appeal. Lists add visual interest to the text, making it more appealing and easier to navigate. Applications. Business reports and presentations. Summarize key findings, recommendations, or action items. Academic writing. Highlight main arguments, findings, or critical points from research. Everyday communication. It is used in emails or memos to summarize key points or action items. In conclusion, employing bullet points and lists is a versatile and effective way to condense and summarize complex information, making it more accessible and easier to understand for your audience. This technique enhances readability, ensures clarity, and facilitates better comprehension and retention of the key message. Creating visual summaries is a powerful technique for condensing and summarizing information, especially when dealing with complex data or concepts. Visual elements like charts, graphs, and infographics can transform dense, text-heavy content into an accessible and engaging format. Here is a detailed look at how to effectively use visual summaries. Understanding visual summaries. Enhanced comprehension. Visuals can simplify complex information, making it easier to understand and remember. They tap into the brain's ability to process visual information faster than text. Immediate impact. A well designed visual can communicate key messages at a glance, offering an immediate understanding of the underlying data or concept. Engagement and interest. Visual elements can make summaries more engaging and interesting, holding the audience's attention better than blocks of text. Techniques for creating visual summaries. Choose the right type of visuals. Charts and graphs, ideal for numerical data. Use bar charts, line graphs, pie charts, etc. to show trends, comparisons, or distributions. Infographics. Combine images, charts, and minimal text to explain a concept, process, or to present a summary of various data points. Mind maps. Useful for showing relationship between different elements, summarizing content from a meeting, brainstorming session, or from a complex document. Simplify and focus. The key is to simplify the information. Avoid cluttering the visual with too much data or text. Focus on the most important data or concepts that you want to convey. Use color and design effectively. Utilize colors and design elements to guide the viewer's attention and to categorize or highlight key information. Be consistent in your use of colors and styles for coherence. Add text labels and descriptions. While visuals are powerful, they often need accompanying text for context and clarity. Use labels, titles, and brief descriptions to enhance understanding. Ensure accuracy and clarity. Visuals must accurately represent the data or concepts. Misleading visuals can distort the message. Make sure the visual is clear and easy to interpret even for someone unfamiliar with the topic. Benefits. Quick information transmission. Visuals can transmit information quickly and efficiently. It aids memory and recall. People tend to remember visual information better than text. Universal understanding. Visuals can transcend language barriers and are often more universally understandable. Practical applications. Business presentations and reports. Used to summarize financial data, project timelines, market research findings, etc. Educational materials. It is used to summarize complex theories, historical timelines, scientific processes, etc. in a visually engaging manner. Public communication. Use infographics to convey public information, health advisories, or policy summaries. To conclude, creating visual summaries is an effective way to distill complex information into a more digestible and engaging format. This technique leverages the power of visuals to enhance understanding, retention, and interest, making it a valuable tool in both professional and educational contexts. Implementing executive summaries is a crucial technique for condensing and summarizing information, particularly in professional and academic contexts. An executive summary provides a concise overview of a longer document or presentation, highlighting the main points, conclusions, and recommendations. This enables busy readers or listeners to quickly grasp the essential content without going through the entire material. Here is a detailed exploration of how to effectively create and use executive summaries. Understanding executive summaries, purpose and function. The primary purpose of an executive summary is to offer a brief and comprehensive synopsis of a longer document. It should be able to stand on its own, providing all the necessary information for a reader to understand the main points without reading the full document. Target audience. Executive summaries are typically written for decision makers and busy professionals who may not have the time to read through the entire document. It's crucial to tailor the content to this audience, focusing on what they need to know to make informed decisions. Techniques for writing executive summaries. Start with the main conclusion. Begin your summary with the most important conclusion, finding, or recommendation. This sets the context for the reader right from the start. You have to outline the key points. Summarize the main points of the document in a clear and logical order. This might include the problem statement, methodology, major findings, and conclusions. Be selective and only include the most critical points. Be concise but comprehensive. An executive summary should be brief, usually no more than 5 to 10% of the original document's length. Despite its brevity, ensure it covers all major aspects of the document. Use clear and direct language. Avoid jargon and technical terms that may not be familiar to the readers. Use clear, direct language and straightforward sentences. Include recommendations or actions. If the document includes recommendations or calls to action, make sure these are clearly outlined in the summary. Revise for clarity and brevity. After writing the first draft, revise it to eliminate unnecessary details and ensure clarity and conciseness. Benefits. Time efficiency. Allows readers to quickly understand the key content without reading the entire document. Enhanced accessibility. Makes complex or lengthy documents more accessible to a wider audience. Decision facilitation. Provides decision makers with the necessary information to make informed decisions. Practical applications. Business reports. Summarize key findings, strategies, and action plans for management. Research papers. Provide a synopsis of research objectives, methodology, findings, and conclusions. Project proposals. Highlight the purpose, expected outcomes, and benefits of a proposed project. In conclusion, an executive summary is an effective tool for condensing and summarizing lengthy documents or presentations. It captures the essence of the content, allowing readers to quickly understand the key points and implications, making it an invaluable component in both academic and professional writing. Let's now focus on tailoring content to different audiences. Understand your audience. Before preparing your summary, consider the audience's knowledge level, interests, and what they need from the information. An executive team will likely want different information than a technical team or a client. Choose the right language. Adjust the complexity of your language based on the audience's familiarity with the topic. Avoid jargon and technical terms when speaking to a general audience, but use specific terminology if it's standard for your audience's field. Highlight what matters to them. Emphasize the aspects of the information most relevant to the audience. For instance, a financial audience might be most interested in cost implications, while a customer services team might focus on how changes affect user experience. Adjust the level of detail. Decide on the granularity of information based on the audience's need for detail. Executives might prefer high-level summaries, while practitioners might require more detailed data or instructions. Consider the format. Different audiences may prefer different formats. For example, an email summary might be best for quick updates, while a detailed report or interactive presentation might be better for in-depth reviews. Get feedback and refine. Tailoring content is often a process of iteration. Get feedback on your summaries and presentations to learn what works best for different groups and continuously refine your approach. Tailoring content to different audiences is a fundamental aspect of effective communication. The way you present and summarize information can greatly vary depending on who your audience is. Understanding your audience helps you determine the tone, level of detail, and aspects of the information that will be most relevant and engaging to them. Let's elaborate on how to understand and adapt content for different audience. Understand your audience. Assessing audience knowledge and background. Technical expertise. Gauge the technical knowledge of your audience. Are they experts in the field, or do they have a more general understanding? Professional background. Consider their professional roles and how this shapes their perspectives and interests. Previous knowledge. Determine what they already know about the subject to avoid redundancy and build upon existing knowledge. Identifying audience interests and needs. Interests. What aspects of your content are most likely to interest your audience? For instance, a sales team might be more interested in market trends and customer feedback, while a technical team might focus on product specifications and innovation. What are the needs? Understand what your audience needs from your information. Are they looking for data to make decisions, insights for future strategies, or an overview for general understanding? Understanding the purpose of communication. Decision making. If the audience is an executive team, they might be looking for summarized data and insights that aid in decision making. Technical understanding. A technical team might require more in-depth technical details and methodologies. Client engagement. For clients, emphasize benefits, outcomes, and value propositions relevant to their interests or business needs. Adapting your summary. Tailoring the level of detail. Adjust the complexity and depth of your content based on the audience's expertise and interest. For a non-technical audience, simplify complex concepts, use analogies, and avoid jargon. Focusing on relevant aspects. Highlight aspects of your information that directly align with the audience's interest or needs. For example, with an executive audience, focus on impact, return on investment, and strategic implications. Choosing the appropriate tone and language. For example, with an executive audience, focus on impact, ROI, and strategic implications. Choosing the appropriate tone and language. The tone should match the audience's expectations, formal for an executive audience, more technical and detailed for specialists, and conversational for a general audience. Use language that resonates with the audience considering their familiarity with the subject matter. Using examples and analogies. Use examples or analogies that are relatable to the audience's experience and background. This helps in making complex information more tangible and understandable. Visual aids and presentation style. Adapt the style of your visuals and presentation to suit the audience. Executives might prefer high-level overviews and graphs, while technical audiences might appreciate detailed charts and data tables. In conclusion, understanding your audience is crucial in tailoring your content effectively. It involves considering their background, interests, needs, and the context of communication. By aligning your content with these factors, you can create a summary that is not only informative but also engaging and relevant to your audience. This approach enhances comprehension, engagement, and overall effectiveness of the communication. Choosing the right language for your audience is essential in effective communication. The language and terminology you use should be tailored to the level of understanding and familiarity your audience has with the topic. Let's delve into how to adjust the complexity of your language for different audiences. Choose the right language. Assessing audience familiarity, expert versus general audience. Determine if your audience consists of experts familiar with technical jargon or a general audience that requires more basic explanations. Field-specific terminology. In specialized fields, using precise terminology can be important for clarity and accuracy. However, this should be balanced with the audience's level of familiarity with these terms. Adapting language complexity. Simplifying concepts. For a general audience, break down complex ideas into simpler concepts. Use everyday language and analogies to make the information more relatable and easier to grasp. Technical language for expert audiences. When addressing experts, use industry-specific terminology and detailed explanations that match their level of expertise. This shows respect for their knowledge and can make your communication more effective. Avoiding jargon and acronyms. Jargon. Technical jargon can be a barrier to understanding for non-expert audiences. It's often best to avoid or minimize its use unless you are certain the audience will understand. Acronyms. If acronyms are necessary, explain them upon first use. Don't assume the audience is familiar with them, even in a professional setting. Strategies for tailoring language. Use analogies and metaphors. Analogies and metaphors can be powerful tools to explain complex concepts to a non-specialist audience. They relate new information to something familiar. Balancing detail and brevity. Decide on the level of detail necessary based on the audience's background. Experts might appreciate depth, while a general audience might prefer a broader overview. Active versus passive voice. Use active voice for clarity, especially with a general audience. It makes sentences clearer and more direct. Storytelling and examples. Incorporate storytelling or relevant examples to illustrate points. This can be particularly effective in making abstract or complex topics more tangible. Feedback and clarification. Be open to feedback and ready to clarify points if needed. Watch for cues from your audience to see if they understand and adjust your language accordingly. Consistency in language. Maintain consistent use of terms and concepts throughout your communication. This helps in reinforcing understanding, especially when introducing new or complex ideas. To conclude, choosing the right language for your audience is about striking a balance between accuracy and accessibility. It involves understanding the audience's level of familiarity with the subject matter and adjusting your language complexity accordingly. By doing so, you can ensure that your message is not only received but also understood and appreciated, leading to more effective and meaningful communication. Highlighting what matters most to your audience is a key aspect of tailoring content effectively. It involves identifying and emphasizing the elements of your message that are most relevant and impactful to a specific audience. This approach ensures that the information you present resonates with your audience and addresses their particular concerns or interests. Let's explore how to do this effectively. Highlight what matters to them. Understanding audience priorities. Identify their interests. Determine what aspects of your content are most relevant to your audience. What are their primary concerns, goals, or interests in relation to your topic? Consider their role. The audience's professional role often dictates their interests. For example, a finance department will likely focus on cost and return on investment, while a marketing team might be more interested in consumer engagement and brand perception. Adapting content to audience needs. Financial audience. When addressing a financial audience, emphasize cost implications, financial benefits, ROI, and budgetary considerations. Customer service teams. For customer service professionals, focus on how changes or decisions will affect user experience, customer satisfaction, and service efficiency. Using relevant examples and data. Incorporate examples, case studies, or data that are directly relevant to the audience's domain. This not only makes your content more relatable, but also helps in illustrating your points more effectively. Strategies for highlighting relevant aspects. Prioritize information. Structure your content so that the most relevant information for your audience is presented prominently. This could mean leading with it or giving it the most space or time in your presentation. Tailor your language and tone. Use language and tone that align with the audience's expectations and professional culture. This helps in establishing a connection and ensuring that your message is well received. Customize visuals and aids. Use graphs, charts, and visuals that highlight the data or trends most relevant to your audience. For instance, use customer satisfaction metrics in presentations to a service team or financial graphs for a budget meeting. Address their questions and concerns. Anticipate and address the specific questions or concerns that your audience is likely to have. This shows that you understand and value their perspective. Feedback and engagement. Encourage feedback and questions to ensure that the information is resonating with them. This can also help you to further tailor your message in real time. Follow up appropriately. Provide follow-up information or resources that are specifically relevant to the audience's interests and needs. Highlighting what matters most to your audience is about connecting your content to their specific interests, roles, and concerns. By focusing on the aspects of your message that are most relevant to your audience, you can create more engaging, effective, and impactful communication. This approach not only ensures that your audience pays attention but also fosters better understanding and alignment with your objectives. Adjusting the level of detail in your content according to your audience's needs is a crucial aspect of effective communication. Different audiences have varying requirements for detail based on their roles, expertise, and objectives. Understanding and adapting to these needs ensure that your message is both relevant and engaging for your audience. Let's explore how to tailor the level of detail for different audiences. Adjust the level of detail. Assessing audience requirements. Understand their role. An executive's needs will differ from those of a practitioner or technical expert. Executives often require strategic overviews, while technical audiences might need detailed data and methodologies. Gauge their expertise. The audience's familiarity with the subject matter will determine how much background information and detail are necessary. Tailoring information appropriately. For executives, provide concise, high-level summaries that focus on outcomes, implications, and strategic decisions. Avoid granular details and instead highlight key takeaways, trends, and actionable insights. For practitioners and technical audiences, offer more comprehensive detailed information. This can include data, technical specifications, methodologies, and in-depth analysis. Strategies for adjusting detail levels. Executive summaries for high-level audiences. Start documents or presentations with an executive summary that encapsulates the main points in a succinct manner. Focus on the big picture and strategic implications rather than the operational or technical specifications. Detailed sections for technical audiences include sections with detailed analysis, data, and technical information for those who require it. Provide appendices, footnotes, or links to additional resources for in-depth exploration. Use of visual aids. Tailor visual aids to suit the audience's level of detail. Use broad stroke graphs and charts for executives and detailed tables and technical diagrams for specialists. Visual aids can help convey complex information succinctly to high-level audiences and in detail for technical audiences. Modular presentation of information. Structure your content in a modular fashion, allowing different audience segments to dive into the details relevant to them. This approach can be particularly effective in written reports or digital formats where readers can navigate to sections of interest. Clarity and accessibility. Regardless of the level of detail, ensure that your content is clear and accessible. Avoid unnecessary jargon and explain technical terms when they are used. Feedback mechanisms. Provide avenues for feedback or questions, especially when addressing mixed audiences. This allows you to clarify or add detail as needed based on audience responses. Adjusting the level of detail in your content based on your audience's needs is essential for effective communication. It involves understanding the specific requirements of different audience segments and tailoring your message accordingly. By doing so, you ensure that your audience receives the information in a manner that is both understandable and relevant to their roles and interests. This approach not only enhances engagement but also ensures that your communication is efficient and impactful. Considering the format when tailoring content to different audiences is about choosing the most effective way to present your information based on the preferences and needs of your audience. Different formats can significantly impact how your message is received and understood. Let's delve into how to select and adapt formats for various audiences. Consider the format. Understanding audience preferences and constraints. Time constraints. Busy professionals like executives may prefer concise formats such as email summaries or one-pagers. Information depth. Technical teams or stakeholders involved in in-depth reviews might require detailed reports, white papers, or comprehensive presentations. Accessibility. Consider how your audience will access the information. Is it on the go, in a meeting, or for individual study? Selecting appropriate formats. Email summaries. Ideal for quick updates or highlights. They are easily accessible and can effectively communicate key points or actions needed. Detailed reports. Provide in-depth analysis and comprehensive information. It is useful for audiences who need to deeply understand a topic or for documentation purposes. Interactive presentations. It is great for engaging audiences during meetings or workshops. It can also include elements like charts, videos, and interactive question and answers. Infographics. It's useful for visually summarizing complex data or processes, making them easier to understand at a glance. Videos or webinars. It is effective for demonstrating products, processes, or for educational content. Strategies for tailoring formats. Align format with content purpose. Choose a format that best serves the purpose of your content. For decision making, a well-structured report might be best. For awareness, a brief email or infographic could suffice. Consider the distribution channel. The choice of format might also depend on the distribution channel. For instance, digital channels might favor interactive or multimedia formats. Balance detail with brevity. Even within a chosen format, find the right balance. For example, a report can have a concise executive summary followed by detailed analysis. Use visual elements wisely. Incorporate visuals like charts and graphs in reports and presentations to break up text and illustrate points clearly. Feedback and flexibility. Be open to feedback on the effectiveness of different formats and willing to adjust based on what works best for your audience. Consistency and branding. Ensure that your chosen format aligns with organizational branding and style guidelines, if applicable, for consistency and professionalism. Considering the format is a critical aspect of tailoring content to different audiences. It's about matching the way you present your information to preferences, needs, and constraints of your audience. By carefully selecting and adapting formats, you can enhance the effectiveness of your communication, ensuring that your message is not only received but also appreciated and acted upon by your audience. This approach leads to more engaging, accessible, and impactful communication. Getting feedback and refining your approach is a vital part of tailoring content to different audiences. Tailoring content effectively is rarely a one-time endeavor. It often requires ongoing adjustment and fine-tuning. This iterative process allows you to understand better what resonates with different audiences and how to improve the effectiveness of your communication. Let's explore this in more detail. Get feedback and refine. Importance of feedback. Continuous improvement. Feedback is essential for understanding how well your content meets the audience's needs and expectations. It provides insights into areas of improvement. Audience engagement. Seeking feedback demonstrates that you value your audience perspective, which can enhance engagement and build trust. Methods for gathering feedback. Surveys and questionnaires. Use these tools post-presentation or after distributing summaries to gather structured feedback. Direct conversations. Engage in one-on-one or group discussions to get more nuanced and specific feedback. Digital analytics. If your content is delivered digitally, example through email or website, use analytical tools to track engagement metrics like open rates, time spent on page, or interaction rate. Observation. In live presentations, observe audience reactions and engagement levels. Are they attentive, asking questions, or providing comments? Strategies for refining content. Analyze feedback for patterns. Look for common themes or repeated suggestions in the feedback. This can indicate areas that consistently need attention. Experiment with adjustments. Based on feedback, make small adjustments to your approach. This could involve changing the format, altering the level of detail, or using different visual aids. Tailor based on specific feedback. If feedback varies significantly between different audience groups, consider creating more tailored versions of your content to address each group's unique needs and preferences. Implement changes incrementally. Avoid making drastic changes all at once. Implement changes gradually and continue to seek feedback to assess their effectiveness. Maintain a feedback loop. Establish a continuous feedback mechanism, making it a regular part of your communication process. This could be as simple as ending presentations or emails with a call for suggestions. Document and share learnings. Keep a record of the feedback and the adjustments made. This documentation can be a valuable source for understanding what works best for different audiences over time. Be open to evolving needs. Recognize that audience needs and preferences can evolve. Stay adaptable and regularly revisit your approach to ensure it remains effective. Getting feedback and continuously refining your approach is crucial in tailoring content effectively to different audiences. This process of iteration enables you to fine-tune your communication strategies, ensuring they remain aligned with your audience's evolving needs and preferences. By embracing feedback and being willing to adapt, you can enhance the clarity, relevance, and impact of your communication, leading to more successful and meaningful engagements with your audience.